One thing that you learn very quickly when you become a bad movie connoisseur, such as myself, is that for most movies, whether they're supposed to be good or bad, if the word shark is in the title, then the film is probably gonna suck. Trust me when I say that I have watched an absurd amount of terrible shark movies in my time, and I have an undeniable, ironic enjoyment for them. Most of the time because they decide to combine something completely ridiculous with the usual shark attack movie formula to keep things interesting. For example, Sharktopus, combining a shark with an octopus and allowing it to go above land and just walk around eating people.
Oh no! Not like this!
Sharknado, which combines the terrifying idea of being in a city where a tornado hits with the extra terrifying idea of sharks flying out of said tornado. Or Two-Headed Shark Attack. I don't think I need to elaborate on that one. So when I saw the title DUBway Shark, I had no idea what to expect. I mean, it sounds silly, right? A movie about a shark in a subway station? How ridiculous could a movie concept get? But what I ended up getting out of this movie was definitely not what I anticipated going in. However, before I go too deep into the review, let me get introductions out of the way. Hi there, I'm Misa, and I love bad movies. And not only do I love watching bad movies, but I love talking about them and getting other people to watch them because I enjoy making people watch the stupid shit that I like. Hence, why I'm making this video. And today I'm going to be covering DUBway Shark. Another very short movie coming in at 49 minutes that honestly wasn't what I expected at all. And before people think I'm getting lazy watching these short-ass movies recently, I swear to God I did not know that this was only 49 minutes going into it. That was just a happy coincidence. I decided on reviewing this movie months ago, so don't blame me for the length. I'll review a movie that's at least 80 minutes next week just to make up for it, I promise. So, to get this out of the way immediately, so that I can lower your guys' expectations straight away, there is no shark in this movie. I know, I mainly watch these movies for terrible shark effects too, but listen, this isn't to the movie's detriment, I swear. The entire film is basically about a reporter, Sarah McFieldson, interviewing random New Yorkers in a subway station, asking them if they've heard of the subway shark, while also investigating the subway itself to find any evidence that she can of the shark's existence. The entire thing is framed as a mockumentary that's framing the shark as a monster navigating the New York subway system, and the crew are evidently taking the piss.
That's terrifying.
The actress who plays Sarah is obviously not taking this role seriously, but not in a bad way. The movie is supposed to be lighthearted and fun, so whenever she accidentally laughs during a take, it didn't really take me out of it or anything.
Well, that's the thing. People say that this shark was playing dead, acting like a possum. You know when a possum is afraid and they act dead? So this
I mean, I would laugh too if I was pretending to be a reporter trying to find a shark in a subway station. So, I'm not going to be covering this movie in the same way that I usually do, where I go over what actually happens throughout the story, because honestly, there isn't enough content in the movie to really do that this time. And I don't mean in the same way that there wasn't enough content in the Clown Chainsaw Massacre to cover because the movie was so bland and nothing really happened in it, but because the movie only consists of interviews and Sarah looking at puddles.
See this water here? This is where the subway shark thrives.
Among other parts of the subway station, and making some shit up about how the subway shark must be here. I mean, I could go into every interview that she does and every scene where she looks at a mark on the floor and talks about it for 5 minutes straight, but I think it's just easier to go over what I like and dislike about the movie. Which, first of all, I bet you're asking, why would someone make a movie that's not even an hour long about a subway shark, and not even show a shark in the movie? Well, there are two reasons this movie exists, and I kind of love both of them. The first reason being because of a fellow YouTuber, Joel Harver. Essentially, Joel wanted to create an almost anti-Oscars protest. You see, like most people who enjoy movies, me included, Joel didn't really like the Oscars, as he believed that the entire thing was based around studio manipulation of art to make it more restricted, predictability when it came to who was going to win an Oscar, and that the event wasn't for people who actually enjoyed the art of filmmaking, or even just people who enjoyed movies beyond summer blockbusters. Which is a sentiment that I can 100% get behind. So, he decided that instead of watching the Oscars one year, he would make a movie while live streaming to his audience. The movie was called A Simple Smash and Bash Job Gone Wrong. It was a really funny idea, and he really enjoyed the process of making it since it was a collaboration with his fans. They were calling in during the live stream and acting in the movie from his laptop. It's actually an entertaining watch if you guys have 40 minutes to spare. And after one of his friends noticed what he was doing and decided to do the same thing, make a movie in 3 hours, Joel figured that this would be a fun thing to encourage his audience to do. So every year during the Oscars, he holds a competition where his viewers are to make a 40+ minute movie within 3 hours. And that's why this movie exists. And I actually find that really funny, especially because I found this movie on Amazon Prime, which just adds to the irony of it all. I mean, you guys know that Amazon hosts so many Oscar bait and Hollywood blockbuster movies, as well as the schlock that I cover on this channel. And the second reason that this film exists is because there was an actual subway shark in New York. No, I'm not joking. In 2013, there was a dead shark found on a New York subway car, and it had its body messed around with and photographed. It had a cigarette put in its mouth, a subway card placed near its fin, and an energy drink put next to it. Pretty fucked up, right? I mean, if there was a dead dog on the subway, I'm sure nobody would do that then, but a tiny little shark? Fair game, apparently. So the filmmakers wanted to, as they say, make a piece of art that was more respectful and lighthearted than what was done to the shark initially. Which I think is pretty nice. I personally love sharks. They're just little guys. And big guys. Who want to roam around in their home without pesky humans passing by. And I can't lie, I find some of them really cute. So the director respecting sharks definitely puts him in my good books. So, now that I've given you context about the movie's existence, I guess the important question now is the movie any good? Well, no. I think that knowing the context behind it definitely helps the enjoyment of it, and you can tell that the people making the movie were having a lot of fun, but the movie isn't great. I really like the idea of it being a mockumentary, and I personally think that getting to the end of the movie without actually showing a poorly done CGI shark was a nice contrast to people sharing photos of the original subway shark around. And some interviews in the movie are actually kind of funny.
You know, right now I'm unemployed, so actually, you know, I didn't want to say it because it's kind of just sad, but my life is just, right now I'm just trying to get by and figure out how to make money here, but the last thing I need to worry about is a fucking shark in the subways, you know?
But the movie is unfortunately kind of boring. I mean, it's not surprising. The movie was made in 3 hours and they had to improvise a lot of it. And most of the interviews are with genuinely random people that they just bumped into on the subway. And they just improv'd basically the entire conversation that they were having.
This is fascinating. And have either one of you, can you either one of you confirm this story?
I spotted one at Roosevelt Island.
But due to the lack of real scripting and planning, unfortunately, the movie kind of drags. And there's a lot of faffing around trying to come up with content to keep the movie above the 40-minute mark for the Oscars challenge. And it's such a shame because I think if there was a script, this could have been way funnier. But I guess they were going for something similar to what Joel initially did with his movie and improvising with his fans. But that worked better since he was doing it during a live stream and he had his fans help out, so it felt like a community effort. If the director, Cody Clark, had more time and ideas and lines on paper, this might have been a lot better. Kind of like What We Do in the Shadows. I know I've brought this movie up before, but it's one of my favourite comedy movies of all time, and similarly to Subway Shark, it's a mockumentary. But it has a cohesive story and script, even though it doesn't always feel like it has a script. I think if Cody wasn't making this for the competition and had more time, it would be way better. And that's not to say that it's awful. Like I said, some of the interviews are funny, but some just aren't. Like this dude who was obsessed with an analogy that Sarah made about possums.
Well, that's the thing. People say that this shark was playing dead, acting like a possum. You know when a possum is afraid and they act dead? You know, a Red Bull can next to it. This is the DUBway Shark. Acting.
Okay. Acting like a possum.
Being ridiculed by the people of Manhattan.
Right. What does he do? Like walking around like, hey, I'm a possum. What's up?
This just isn't really funny, to be honest. This is a really weird one for me because I do like the premise of the movie and I don't think that it was done badly considering the time restraints. But as an actual movie, I can't really say that it was good. And I can't in good conscience just rate it highly because of why it was made. Because if I watched it and I didn't know the context behind the film, it would be one of the bottom-tiered movies. I don't think I could rank it above a lot of the other movies on my tier list, really, but I don't want to put it in 0 out of 10 we'll never watch again. Mainly because it's not as soulless as something like Piglet or Among the Shadows. So I think I'm gonna have to put it in wow, you really didn't try. I know that the whole premise was for the movie to be done in 3 hours, so there wasn't much room for trying, necessarily. But that's what made it not as enjoyable for me, unfortunately. Like I said, if there was more time put into it, it could have been so much better, but as it is, I can't really say it's a good, bad movie. However, for a project done as a challenge, it's not that bad. Would I recommend it? Well, maybe if you're interested due to the background of why it was made, but I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't find it entertaining. So just as a movie experience, I wouldn't really recommend it. I apologize for the length of this video, but the movie was 45 minutes and there wasn't much to say about it, so what did you guys expect? So, if you've watched this movie and you disagree with me in my ranking for whatever reason, then you can let me know in the comments. And also, if you have any other bad movies in mind that you'd like for me to review, then you can also let me know down below. Or you can tweet at me if you want to suggest anything for me to cover. The links to my Twitter/X and Blue Sky accounts, as well as my Letterboxd, are in the description. And for generous people who would like to support me making these videos, my Ko-Fi and Patreon are also in the description. Which, speaking of, thank you to my amazing patrons, Rob Slide and Fox. You're both awesome. Thank you so much for helping me make this content and supporting me. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one, and I promise the next video will be longer. Bye!